We have an iPhone XR. We have an iPhone XR. It's so hard to say. Anyway, yeah. This one got run over by a car. It seems to be a trend to run over your phone with a car and then give it to me to fix. But hey, I'm not complaining. Maybe I am complaining just a little bit. Stop doing this. So we're dealing with a bent frame, cracked screen, back glass, and who knows what else. Let's find out. So I plugged in the phone and the backlight seems to be working. So there is definitely some life. Unscrew. So the plan is to convert this phone into an iPhone 12. Well, to make it look like an iPhone 12. But we're going to see if that's even worth it. Open it up. So we might be dealing with some board damage. We're going to try a new screen and see if this even still works. Disconnect our battery. Unscrew. Remove our old screen. So I don't even have a new screen. All I have is this old cracked one, but that'll have to work. Let's see if this thing still works. I mean, it charges. So by some miracle, it actually booted, but I still need the password, so I have to wait for that. It's also getting extremely hot, which is not a good sign. So we got the phone on, I'm on it, and everything seems to be working. I don't know how, but by some miracle, this guy got lucky. Disconnect our screen. Now we're going to remove pretty much every single component on this housing and transfer it over to this fake iPhone 12 housing for the XR. Disconnect, disconnect, disconnect. There's a lot of connectors on this guy. These screws over here hold other screws, and you need a very specific screwdriver to get them off, otherwise you could break a lot of stuff. Remove the SIM card reader. Now we can remove the logic board. This is your iPhone XR. It's not a lot here. Remove the front camera, unscrew, Taptic engine. I'm using 2 mats right now because there's just so many parts. It gets really hard to stay organized after a while. The loudspeaker connects via these 2 contact points and is glued down pretty nicely for water resistance. Gonna cook the phone a little bit and get ready to remove the battery. The phone's done cooking. We're gonna attempt to remove the battery using the pull tabs. Hopefully they don't rip because I don't want to pry up on this battery. Battery's off, safe and sound. Now we're going to transfer over these little sidebars. They basically hold in the screen. Screw it into our new housing. That's done. Now it's time to move the wireless charger and the charging port. If you guys are wondering how this fake iPhone 12 housing works, basically it just has a fake camera over here, and on the other side it's literally just black. But you could tell the camera looks really weird, so if you ever get one of these with a weird looking camera, you know it's fake. Pry up on the charging port. Now we can remove our charging port. And the second piece, I'm not too sure what this is, but I know it connects to the antenna. Now we have to remove the wireless charger. Because there's a hole in the back, we could just push up on it and it'll slowly but surely come off. It's about as thin as paper, so you have to be careful. There we go. Now it's time to remove our front camera, which has a Wi-Fi antenna under it, I believe. And it's not screwed in by anything, it's just held in by these little clips. Unscrew. Now we can remove our antenna. It's time for the buttons. Now this is easily one of the hardest parts of this repair and most annoying thing to do ever in the whole world. It's especially hard because the housing is bent, so I'm having a lot of trouble. So we finally got that out. RIP my tweezer. It's time to take our power button, put that in there. Now we're going to just click this back on and reinstall this little annoying metal bar. And we'll do that 2 more times. Okay, so we got the buttons in. That was super annoying. I also put in the bottom meshes, but now we have to reinstall everything. Wi-Fi antenna. I forgot to remove this. It's the little NFC chip. The Wi-Fi and NFC are done. It's time for the wireless charging. We're going to put some glue along the edges just so it doesn't come off. There we go. Now we can reinstall the charging port. Screw. I usually forget where some screws go, so I always have a spare so that I can check if I'm putting it in the right slot. The charging port's in and it's starting to look like an actual phone now. Install our front camera. You want to make sure you slide it in. There we go. For whatever reason, the camera doesn't want to screw in properly, so we're just going to glue it down. This is mainly the reason why I don't do this for other people, is because there's always some sort of defect and I don't want to give someone a defective phone. Add new battery strips, reinstall our logic board. When there's gold around a screw hole, it's usually when the screwception occurs, when the screw that has another screw can go in. Now we can install our battery and test everything out. That took a long time. After like 2.5 hours, we got everything installed. Now we're just going to test it out and pray to God that we didn't break anything along the way, because if we did, that would have been a lot of time wasted. We're going to connect our new screen and connect our battery, and we're just going to pray. There we go. So the phone is on and functional. We're just going to go through and see if everything works. Try out our flash, our front camera, the back camera, volume buttons. I don't have a screen at the moment, so we're going to replace that later. That is all for today, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next one. Don't forget to subscribe and get that crunch. Get that crunch.